This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, I think we have two members who are unable to join us tonight, so thank you for reminding me. Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I think it's on the agenda that we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so one of the first orders of business tonight is going to be, I know that there were some changes made and Casey sent that out to us. I assume that you all have the agenda in front of you. So if we'd like to just introduce ourselves, I'll start with myself. I'm Ashley Gagne. I'm a member of the Board of Supervisors. I'm going to serve, at least for now, as the temporary liaison between this committee and the board, just kind of make sure that information's getting back and forth. Obviously, you're all, totally welcome to reach out to any of the board members at any time. So that's me. Would you like to go next?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Henry.
I'm Henry Alexander. I live on Fern Hill Road, and I've been an environmental engineer throughout my career, and I retired about 5 years ago, and my chief interest right now is climate and responding to the issues regarding climate change.
Thank you, Henry. Go ahead, Tina.
My name is Tina Smith. I've lived in West Goshen for probably 50 some years. I have a strong environmental background, environmental engineering, compliance, regulatory, develop engineering standards, attended or been on regulatory committees for 36 years, environmental assessments and inspections. I worked for Sunoco for 26 years, managing their environmental compliance department for the whole company, and the past 10 years for JD2 Environmental, local company. And I'm pleased to be on this committee, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tina.
Thanks,
Dorothy.
Ashley.
Dorothy, would you like to go?
Sure. Hi, thank you. I'm really honored to be on this committee. It's a privilege and it's very exciting. I was so excited I put it out on nextdoor.com to let my neighbors know. So anyway, my name is Dorothy Burden and I am self-employed. I am the sole proprietor of Bright Bunny Communications, but I have a career that from 1978 till now has been in the building and design industry, specifically working with architects and engineers and planners and landscape architects and construction firms. So I'm really dedicated to the built environment and the natural environment as well. And this is really important to me. I've been a resident of West Goshen Township for just 6 years, 6 very nice years, very good years. And environmentally speaking, I've got the lake behind me. So it's just, it's just a beautiful township. And I want to do whatever I can do to contribute as a citizen and resident to its health and well-being and continued beauty and environmental sustainability. So thank you.
Thanks, Dorothy. Susan, would you like to go now?
Sure. I'm Susan Charks. I've lived in West Goshen, I guess, 8 years. I am currently working for Brandywine Conservancy. I've had a checkered career, but most recently, I've been working for environmental nonprofits and land conservation, watershed associations, and this Brandywine Conservancy, of course, is a local land trust with a presence, quite a presence in the region. So I'm excited to be able to volunteer. Prior to this, prior to my residence here in West Goshen, at one point I lived up in Bucks County, and I participated as chair for the EAC in the township there, and it was a really rewarding experience, being able to be that citizen volunteer, a bridge between the residents and the municipal officials, both elected and staff members, and to really just bring new ideas and innovations to their thinking and to the residents' way of thinking about environmental approaches. So I'm really excited to be able to participate in that same role here in West Goshen, a very different township and very different times.
Thanks. Like to introduce yourself?
Hello?
We can hear you.
I'm having trouble hearing you guys. I was born and raised in West Goshen, and my career history has basically been in the treatment and remediation of water, and some soil remediation as well. And I still do that for a living. So that's about it.
Great, thank you, Cindy. I also see Natalie on the call.
Hi, this is Natalie. I've been in West Goshen for about 21 years now. I think I'm the odd man out here because this is not my career. I work in IT. I'm doing validation of systems for about 15 years now, so 18 years, I don't know, a long time. I'm currently self-employed. I work for a company up in New Jersey, but I am mostly home-based, which is nice. But I am very looking forward to getting involved in this. I do have solar panels on my house. I think that's something that's very important. I'm looking forward to how we can get a lot more interest in sustainable paths moving forward in West Goshen.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Let's see, John, did you wanna?
Well, yeah, my name is John Howard. I'm also sit on the board along with Ashley, Board of Supervisor member. So I'm just here to listen and in any way possible to help contribute. There you go. You are muted, Ashley.
Sorry. Yeah, I think my connection's super slow for some reason. Go ahead.
I'm good. I just introduced myself. I'm good.
Okay, sorry. Great. Okay. I don't think I'm missing anybody. I see you, Margie.
Margie's here.
Yep. Hi, Margie.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here.
Did you want to say anything?
No, I'm just, no.
Just observing for tonight. Good. Thank you.
I'm just happy to see that this committee was formed, and I'm still hoping for that citizen budget committee to come along one of these days. But in the meantime, I wish this committee well, and I'm anxious to see it take off. Thank you.
Thanks, Margie. Okay, so we can now move into item number 3, which is going to be the election of a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary of the committee. I will be completely honest with you. I have never done this before. Maybe Casey, you have some ideas about how to conduct this part?
Sure. I mean, we don't have this happen often. We very rarely have brand new committees get established. If someone wants to make a nomination, they can nominate themselves. They can nominate someone else for chair. then the vote is taken for that position, and then the newly installed chair asks for nominations for vice, and then that vote is taken, and then the final vote is for a township secretary. I'm sorry, for a committee secretary.
Okay.
And you can vote
and
for yourself as well.
Right, and so this is just for committee members. So for example, I do not have a vote, John does not have a vote, that's correct?
Correct, it's our five members tonight.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so would anybody like to nominate someone else or themselves to serve as chair?
I guess, this is Henry Alexander, I guess I would like to, I'd hope that Melanie Weil would be on the call, because I think that she would, from talking to her, I think she would make an excellent chairperson. She may not like the idea that she's been nominated in her absence, but I think that she would make an excellent chairperson.
Henry, what is her background?
Her background is in research in peat bogs of the northern latitudes up in Canada. And this has been part of the research having to do with climate change. And so she spent about 20 years doing that. I forget where she went to graduate school. She has a PhD. She did postgraduate work at Princeton, and she worked for 7 years, I believe, as a professor at Villanova, and she's recently been a professor in Westchester University.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Henry. I was trying to pull up her resume or her CV that she had sent around, and I can't find it in my mailbox.
Henry, do you seem to indicate that you'd spoken to her about? Do you know that she'd be open to this role?
Well, when I discussed it with her, she seemed to be pleased about it, but a little surprised and pleased. That's all I know.
Yeah, Henry, Melanie's been working with you, I guess, just recently with you, and to kind of serve as representatives from our newly formed SAC. She definitely seems super excited about this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we can nominate her if she's not here. I mean, obviously we can nominate her, but anyway, thank you for your nomination.
Perhaps I don't know what procedure is, but perhaps we could wait on establishing a chairperson until all 7 of us are here.
Yep, you sure can.
Yeah, if that's something you really want to do, then that's fine.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to remind folks, because I put it on the email, that I do have another meeting at 7:30. So at that point, I'll have to cut out. Yeah, so we could continue with our first meeting without electing a chair, but we could go ahead and elect a vice chair and a secretary.
Yep, you sure can. Mm-hmm. And the vice chair can run the meeting until next month.
Yeah, so would anybody like to nominate anyone or themselves to serve as vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Henry, because if the other lady, and I just forgot her name, accepts the chair, it seems like you already have a working relationship. Would you be interested?
I could do that.
I agree, Dorothy.
Sounds good to me.
So should we do a roll call then of votes to elect Henry Alexander as vice chair?
I'll make a motion if you need a motion to elect
Yes.
Henry Alexander as vice chair.
Thanks, Tina. And Dorothy, it sounds like you seconded.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Wonderful. Congratulations, Henry.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for committing to this. It's wonderful.
Well, then we need
Take
to,
over if you like. Yeah.
well, you know, with the power vested in me, we need to elect a secretary. Anybody wish to nominate someone as a secretary?
What are the duties of the secretary, please?
I guess take the notes.
Is that it? Minutes? Is that?
Yep, generally meeting minutes, and if the committee sees fit to write letters of support for projects, they would do the correspondence for that stuff at the direction of the committee.
There you are.
And the committee meets once a month?
Correct.
Did we settle on the fourth Tuesday of every month for meetings, future?
I
Yeah.
Yeah,
think,
that was the consensus from everybody. Yep.
Okay.
any nominations?
If nobody else wants to volunteer, I'll do it. I'm actually secretary of, a board secretary on another organization, so, and I'm a writer.
All right, well,
I think that's perfect, Dorothy.
That makes sense.
That's a
Well,
nice,
it's, there's been a willingness. Is there a second?
I'll
I
second that.
second the motion.
Okay, then, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Well, we have, thank you. Dorothy, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, the next agenda item is discussion of enabling ordinance, establishing the committee and its duty and mission statement. I think the ordinance is written down. Does everybody understand what that, what is in the ordinance? Everybody's read that and comfortable with that? I don't think we need to read it. Casey, do we need to produce a mission statement?
Well, I don't have the ordinance in front of me, but I think there is at least the start of one, gives the basic duties of the committee. But I think especially Tina had thought that you might want to hone it a little bit and get some thoughts of the committee.
Yeah.
It wouldn't necessarily be rewritten into the ordinance, but could be a standalone, very, very detailed mission statement by the committee once you got together.
My idea on this is I've been on many committees before where the committee's mission statement is the most critical piece of the entire committee, because every time if we go off track, we come back to that mission statement. I think it takes a lot of time to develop it, but it's worth taking the time to do it. I think that's one of the most important things that we can come out of this committee, because that's going to set the stage for what our goals are moving forward. So I feel as though we really have to tone in on that and really finalize that before we can move on with goals or initiatives or any other thing that we need, because that's your basis for the committee. So that's why I really wanted to have it in there, because I feel as though other committees I've been on, it has really helped. And so my question to Casey was, can we change the existing mission statement. If you look at number 3, if you have it in front of you on the ordinance that was put out, that is where the existing mission statement is. I think it's very well written. I think it's a little bit generic. And I did have some suggestions that I think it could be a little bit more detailed.
Now, are we talking about 3A or 3B?
It's actually 3, section 3, duties of the committee. It starts with the committee's mission is to increase collaboration. That's the actual existing mission statement.
Okay.
Okay. And it's
So
also Casey's
the
letter
first
that he
of
sent us. If
I'm
you don't
sorry.
have that, Casey's letter that he sent us advising us that we're on the committee, he actually put the mission statement there in number 1.
Let's take a look at that.
So if you want to read that first.
Creation. I see I'm looking at the ordinance. Is that what you're looking at?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Henry, the ordinance 3/2020.
Yes.
The one Casey sent us. If you look at section 1, number 3.
Number 3. And the first 5 lines of that you were talking about, or the whole thing?
Yeah, the first 5 lines of section 3 under duties of the committee.
Okay. So what would you, how would you change that statement there in the first 5 lines?
Well, this is just proposed, obviously. I just said to increase collaboration between the Sustainability Advisory Committee and West Goshen Township on initiatives regarding the economic vitality and environmental sustainability of West Goshen Township. The committee fosters community engagement to develop sustainability initiatives aimed at increasing township staff knowledge, developing community partnerships, and fostering sustainable best management practices. So it's a little bit more detailed in getting the community, getting them involved, and create initiatives, which is what we're doing. Because it's hard to do this on Zoom, usually you put the mission statement on the board and you change things as people throw out things and ideas. And so maybe the best thing is what I'm going to propose anyway, is that I can send out what I proposed, take a look at that, plus the existing one, and maybe edit it and send it around to each other. What do you think, Ashley? I mean, it's kind of difficult doing it on Zoom and, without having it on a board somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it, at least for now. And then if you guys give yourself, like you said, I think it takes time to come to really establish a great mission statement. I think there's definitely more discussion that needs to be put into it. I love the fact that this committee wants to create a really detailed, thorough mission statement, because you're absolutely right. It's so important to who we are in West Goshen, totally tailored to that. But yeah, you should probably send it around. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and I think people can just edit it. Maybe I could put it in a Word document and we could put on tracking, and then we could see whose comments and what they are. Would that work for everybody?
What about putting it on Google Doc?
Pardon me? You were in and out.
Me?
I think she was suggesting Google Docs.
Right.
Put it on Google Doc?
Yeah, because then you could turn on, the comments, and people can, it's just in one spot. So that it's a shared document that people can comment on. So that would accomplish exactly what you're saying without.
Do we have a Google Doc location that we can use?
Casey?
We do not, but we can set one up very quickly.
Okay, could you set it up and then let me know? And
Absolutely.
we each have to set up our own passwords?
I think I can set it to, as long as I share the link, I think we don't necessarily need passwords, but I'll double check that and get it out.
Okay, great.
Hey,
Yeah, I think for
Trina?
Sorry, I
Carmen?
think for non-Google users, it might be a situation where, like, if you don't have a Gmail account or something, you just have to approve people's access to it. I don't think that they need to set anything up necessarily.
All right. John, you
Tina, there's something else in here. Maybe you might want to consider reaching out to East Goshen and also the Westchester Borough. They have sustainability committees already established. They may have a mission statement in place you could use as maybe to take some ideas from or use as a reference.
Which townships, John?
East Goshen and Westchester Borough.
Okay. Do you have any contacts there?
Yes, we have David Shuey on East Goshen. Sorry, John.
Go ahead.
We have David Shuey in East Goshen. Definitely a person you guys would want to talk to. As well as Diane, who served as chair for their SAC for years in the borough.
Ashley, could you send an email on to me with their contact information?
Definitely.
Thank you.
And I'll send you the contact information from the borough.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Hey,
So-
Casey, are you aware of any other townships or boroughs in the local area that have sustainability committees besides those two?
Yeah, there are a number. I think East Vincent, West Vincent have them. I can check that pretty quickly.
Kennett
Okay.
Township.
Willistown might.
That's right.
Willistown, I think, definitely does. Yeah.
Radnor has one that's been around for a very long time.
As
Yep.
EAC. Kennett has a sustainability board and an EAC.
So Casey, you could send that information to Tina for her to include.
Yeah, of course. Hmm.
Yeah, what I'll
Okay.
do is I'll, obviously I just said my draft one now, but I'll contact the other townships and see what theirs says, and I'm probably going to modify mine based off of that. And then I'll also share what the townships send me to all you people on the committee.
Well, that would be great. Thank you very much.
And that'll be, we can discuss it at the next meeting if you want to come with your proposed language. And, or actually it's going to be on Google. It's going to be on Google Doc. We'll just talk about the Google document of all your comments in addition to the ones I'm going to send you from the other townships. So I'll probably get a hold of a few once I get the phone numbers.
Okay, I think we have a plan there.
It works. I got my homework.
Anything else having to do with the duties and mission statement? If not, discussion of a possible 2021 township budget request. How much money do you think that we need for the following year?
$2.5 million.
Yeah. Yeah, we're right in the thick of budget season, so I'm not even sure what to recommend at this point. The only other not even commensurate, but our historical commission receives an annual budget, I think, of about $5,000 for their events. I'm not even sure what to recommend. I think that might be a question for our neighbors that I may pose tomorrow to our neighboring municipalities to see how much they budget for their EACs on an annual basis.
Can
And that
we,
will have to be, of course, approved by the Board of Supervisors then.
do we need to make a request this month to meet the budgeting schedule, or can we wait till next month?
Oh, yeah, you can wait till at least next month. The board doesn't finalize the budget until November and then December, so we have plenty of time.
Okay.
Could we discuss for a minute what would constitute the budget? Like, what would we be spending money on?
Well, I think that's the question. I want to speak with our neighboring municipalities, whether you want to do educational outreach, that kind of stuff. If there are, obviously we're in the middle of COVID, so everything's weird, but if there are, events next year that if you want to help participate with our stream cleanup, we have all kinds of events that we do for Earth Day, that kind of stuff. So that's probably what I would suggest.
Now, Casey, the budget for the actual costs for the initiatives that we determine tonight or whenever, that budget doesn't come out of the Sustainability Committee. It comes out of the township budget, correct?
Yeah, that would be department by department. For
Okay.
any, anything stormwater or environmental, those would be split out in the general fund or capital reserve fund, depending how big they are.
Okay, so ours would just be to function for this committee.
Correct.
So if we wanted, just randomly picking a project, let's say we wanted to establish a demonstration, rain garden, something like that, and maybe purchasing materials and that kind of thing might be something that we want to budget for.
Yeah, depending on the cost, absolutely. Yes, of course. Yep.
Why don't we make a agenda item for next month, figuring what we would need money for and how much we think we would need. Anything else on the budget requests? Well, I guess that from here we open it up to a roundtable discussion of the committee's goals and various types of sustainability initiatives.
Yeah, and I apologize, but I think at this point, which is obviously the most interesting part of the meeting, I have to cut out. So I'm sorry to miss it. I will maybe a good thing would be to send my ideas via email too, and that just make sure that you. But I will listen to or watch the rest of the meeting since it's being recorded.
Okay, well, thanks for being here this long.
Thank you. No, I'm looking forward to it. Nice to meet everybody.
Thanks, Susan.
Thanks, Susan.
Yeah.
Now, Sean Walsh, supervisor, had brought up a couple of issues that he was looking at, and we could discuss it. Any other issues that people feel are on the front burner at this time? Any thoughts concerning what people would like to discuss regarding initiatives?
Well, I think Sean had, just to summarize what they were, is he wanted us to update the subdivision and land development ordinances for the renewable energy considerations in new or redevelopment proposals. And then two, he wants us to look at a 10 to 15 year plan on how to transition the township fleet to be all electric or hydrogen fueled for big trucks. I kind of added biodiesel fuel for the big trucks. I think would be something else that he didn't have that I added, because they do replace the vehicles each year, a certain amount, not all of them, obviously. And three, maybe quarterly electronic curbside pickup versus annual. This was just kind of out of the box. What I added was maybe paint or hazardous waste drop off at the township or the West Goshen Township building, or on Westtown Road, I should say. Maybe always have a dumpster there like the Salvation Army has, something like that. And then we have to look in, is it legally allowed and what are the consequences of doing something like this? So I just kind of threw that in, but then he actually had electronic pickup. And then the other things were from the energy study, which were implement engagement strategies, progress on RFI FFP approach for a collective power purchase agreement, and then update the 8457.17 to encourage solar installations. And then there was two ways to do that Kristen had recommended. So I think those were all the initiatives, I believe, on the table right now, unless I left anything out that we were going to look at, in addition to the ones that I just added. I could put this together if you want on one piece of paper so we can focus on what these initiatives are, if that's easier for you, rather than 3 different emails I think that we received. If that's okay, if you want me to do that, I could summarize what I just said.
Well, I'd like to just augment that or follow up on that, Tina. There another one, well, it was community engagement, and that is developing some initiatives to educate the community. And also I included in that meeting with some essential stakeholders in this whole process. And I mentioned specifically some of the union out there that will be of great interest in pursuing this energy initiative, and that would be the IBEW and also the Transport Workers Union as well. So that could be included in your consideration.
Okay, John, you want to send me an email on that and I'll add it to the list that I just had, if you don't mind,
Sure. Okay.
of what you just said, and then I'll put all 6 points on there actually at this point. I'm giving myself a lot of homework here.
Do we want to go through those 6 points now and briefly consider them?
That's up to you. You want to go over the first one and then take each one separately?
Well, the one that I think we could do some preliminary work on is the transition to electric vehicles. The first thing that we need to do is to collect information from the township as to the listing of all vehicles owned by the township, a make and model, and the fuel type, and when they were purchased, and when it's expected that they would be retired. And also the overall gasoline and diesel usage by the township for these vehicles. And in that manner, be able to collect some of the information necessary to consider a transition to electric vehicles. However, it would occur, but over a period of years in a disciplined manner. So what I would recommend is that we request from the various departments through Casey this information for, if possible, for our next meeting.
And what specifically, Henry, did you want Casey to, information did you want him to gather?
The listing of all vehicles owned and operated by the township, the fuel type, when it was purchased, and what's the expected retirement date. It's either 5 years or 7 years, whatever the life of a vehicle would be, and the overall gasoline and diesel usage by the various vehicles of the township.
So I think in the report, some of that, and one of them indicated, I read that they're saving $1,000 per vehicle per year already by going electric.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that would be part of the research that we might do to find out how the transition could occur and what the economics of it will be. So I would recommend that as one action we might take.
Do we also want to do any kind of a research about what the replacements would be?
Oh, I think we would, but we first need to know what's the fleet. Mm-hmm. And what are their expected lives, and when are they replaced, and all of that. So that's my recommendation. does the, do people, members wish to go forward with this request to the township?
Does this need a motion?
Well, I'm not sure, but I'll make it a motion.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
What's the motion exactly? I'm taking notes.
Okay.
Henry, I guess my question is, having this information, how is that going to help us determine, we've already decided we're going electric. So listing all the vehicles owned and operated, how is that going to help us? The fuel type, when purchased?
When retired.
Well, if you
I-
don't know what's there,
I
how do
think-
you know what you need to replace and what you need to replace it with?
And when?
Right, yeah. So I think,
I think
and then we
definitely
can also, based on, what they're using now, we can show what the benefit would be of, replacing it with a different type of vehicle. But if we don't know what the usage is now, how would we know what the benefit would be of replacing it with something different?
Any other discussion?
Yes, Henry, if I may interject, regarding your inventory, that should include the police vehicles as well, but there may need to be some research done there about the availability of electric vehicles specifically for police use. There may be some issues there.
Yes, that would be one of the follow-up questions is the acceptability and the usability of electric vehicles or plug-in electric hybrids vehicles for police cars. And there's been quite a bit of debate and research on this, most specifically in East Goshen Township and West Whiteland Township. And it's just part of what we would need to think through. But I will say that in for most townships, vehicles, motor vehicles are the largest source of greenhouse gases from municipalities. And that surprised me when I first realized that, but that is the case. Well, we have a motion on the floor, seconded. Do people wish to vote on this?
So what was it? Could you repeat the motion? Is the motion that research into township vehicles will be our first initiative? The replacement of existing township vehicles with electric or hybrid vehicles?
Yes, and simply moving that we collect the information with which to do the research as to the desirability and the speed at which a transition to electric vehicles or other vehicles that are low polluting would be could occur.
So the first step is basically taking an inventory of what exists.
Correct. Any other questions?
Did somebody second that and did we vote?
I believe we seconded it.
I seconded it.
Okay. So all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
I think it's unanimous. Okay, well, that's our first item of business. What other issue, we have?
What I guess the only thing I'd like to say is we should probably, the summary of all the initiatives that I'm going to put together, we should probably present that to the Board of Supervisors and make sure that they're on the same page with it is my suggestion. I don't know how you feel about that, Ashley and John.
I mean, I would recommend the more information that you can give to the board, yeah, the better. Always running things by them, at least it's good for your cause. That's what I've learned so far.
So I think what we could do, Henry, is maybe put together the initiatives and then say, we voted on the first initiative that we're going to start on would be the electric cars, something like that, and present that to the board.
Well, that's something that Ashley could do in her report to the board at our monthly meeting on what's happening with the Sustainability Committee. So she would be telling the board, informing them what's going on. I don't think it requires a vote from the board to approve it. You guys are, your own entity here.
Okay, I didn't know if we needed approval, like that they agree on all the initiatives and that they agree on this is the first one we're going to start on. You're saying we don't need the approval of the board to do that?
No,
I don't believe
I don't.
you do. I think John's right. I don't think that you need approval from the board to have your initiatives. This serves as an advisory capacity. So whatever you believe to be, of importance, that's your job, is to advise the board that this is what you think is important, and then
and how to proceed. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ashley.
I think perhaps it might be useful to tell the board that these are the 6 issues that seem to have arisen in the first meeting. And we have another hour and 10 minutes of the meeting from 7 to 9, if we wish. And the question, I guess, is do we want to go through each one of these and consider them one by one as to what we think of them, and just have some dialogue about each one of these 6.
I think it would be helpful to have the other committee members present when we do discuss them, and we have 2 missing now, or 2 not present.
Well, it's up to the committee as to how you would like to go forward. I'm not sure whether we have to fill out the 2 hours or whether when we're through, we're through. But if we wish to, we can go through others, or we can just list them and come back next month and start that discussion.
I kind of agree with Dorothy that I think I'd like to have the whole committee together to hear their input, because I think it's going to be valuable. I think everybody's input's valuable, in my opinion. And I'd like to get their take on it also, and that'll give me a chance to summarize, and everybody could look at it on paper as to what all the initiatives are clearly. In addition to the fact I'd like the other members present for their opinion.
I see heads nodding in affirmative. Okay, sounds good.
Not that I don't value anybody's opinion here. I just want to make sure that we have everybody's opinion to be fair.
Right.
I'm sure
And don't feel obligated to fill out the 2 hours. Believe me, some of these committee meetings last for 15 minutes, not much longer after the Pledge of Allegiance, quite frankly.
Well, Mac, we can all get off early. Is there any other business that we have before us, before public comment?
I think one thing I'd like to also tone in on as a committee as to what our goals are. At some point, I think we need to know, I need to be clear on what they are. unless you're already clear on them and you can explain them to me. I just like to be very clear on what they are.
Now, will that be part of the mission statement or?
I think it's separate.
Okay, do we want to have, in addition to the mission statement, a listing of goals that could be considered within the Google Doc? Would that help there, Tina?
Yeah, but I think we should probably develop the goals as a committee. I mean, I'll do the initiatives because I think that's easy, and I'll do the mission statement. But I'm not feeling comfortable doing the goals because I could be way off from where the committee wants to come from. You know, like I can do a mission statement draft, and I feel comfortable with that because we can massage that. But goals is something totally different. I could be on one page and you could be on totally another page. So I think it's kind of something you have to do as a committee. That's just my opinion.
So am I correct that you want to wait till next week, next month to consider the goals all together, or did you want to discuss the goals at this time?
I think if anybody has any that they're really adamant on, I think they can certainly discuss it now. If not, then we could wait to discuss it with the whole committee.
Okay.
I could go either way, whatever the majority wants to rule there.
Well, let's discuss them. Anybody want to start with what their concept of the goals should be?
Well, I think starting out somewhere is in the actual ordinance. Not only does a draft mission statement, but as a starting point, it also outlines, I believe, some of our goals.
Okay.
If you look at, I guess it would be 3A.
Yeah.
As a starting point.
Well, it sounds like we should dust off the comprehensive plan and find out what that says about sustainability.
That I summarized too. That's probably 2 pages worth of stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess if everybody goes through that report and decides if there's additional stuff that we should be working on, initiatives, let me know once you review that report. And there's more than 6 initiatives that you think we should be highlighting based on the summary in there. I can certainly add them to the 6 other initiatives. So that would be kind of an action item for next meeting too.
So that's an action item for next meeting, which would be to look at the comprehensive plan and see what sustainability goals there are in the comprehensive plan.
Right, that you want to add either to the initiatives or to the goals.
Right.
What's your take, Ashley? Well, yeah, I was just also going to say, you guys, have you looked over I'm sure you've looked over the CADMIS report. They have their whole list of recommended strategies as well. That's like, right. I mean, you can draw so much from that. So that's definitely worth looking at. And I also think that I think that legislation is really important. I know that a lot of townships, a lot of municipalities have committed to, solar readiness or clean energy by a certain date in the form of resolutions. So that gives kind of a baseline to work from for the local legislators. So that's another idea I think that would be good for the township to have in place. But yeah, I think that there's just a lot of reading to do between now and next month for you guys to kind of go through I mean, there's so many different ideas. And as Susan said before she had to drop out, this is the most interesting part because I feel like there are so many possibilities. And it's really exciting. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what you guys put together.
I think one of the things that I found from being on various boards and various committees is that we want to take care to not overreach and overextend and keep our goals simple and attainable and in increments, approach them in increments, because we can have and set a time frame to them as well, so that, you know, they're 6-month goal, 3 months, 6 months, 12 month, you know, and so on, 18 month and 2 years, to help keep us organized and help keep us focused, because this is such a broad subject and there is so much to do. And we're volunteers. I mean, we have, some of us have jobs, some of us, you know, have families and whatever, so and other responsibilities. So we want to be able to attain those goals and really take a bite out of some of these initiatives and be productive with it. So I'm always in favor of starting small and working our way up to bigger things, and at least getting some of the things that are the easiest and most attainable done first, so that we can show success right away or as quickly as possible. And that also goes for the mission statement and the goals that we put in writing. Like I find, and I just worked with an engineering firm on a mission statement, and I think it was 1 sentence or 2 sentences. So the more elegant ones and more meaningful ones are the shorter ones. And we have to be careful to keep it as a mission as opposed to a recitation of duties or responsibilities or tasks. Yep. So I'm all about, you know, kiss it, keep it simple, stupid, just, you know, just take it slow and work our way up and accomplish what we can accomplish as quickly as we can, not overextend ourselves.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I guess what I'm not real clear on is where we're going with the goals. Are we going to establish them here? Are we going to do it as a team? Are we going to do it, come back to the next meeting with some ideas for goals?
I wrote that down as an action item for the next meeting.
Okay. Everybody's going to come with a goal or goals, or is that how we're going to do it?
Yeah.
An alternative, but just bring it out, is the possibility of sending around emails with to all of the committee, plus Ashley as the supervisor overseeing the committee, with our thoughts and sharing information between meetings, just so we can come up to speed more quickly. That could be a way of moving forward. For instance, people could send around to everyone an email which indicates their thoughts and knowledge so far, and what do people think of perhaps doing that?
For my part, I get a lot of emails. I'm already on another board, and there's a million emails a day from it, plus, you know, work. So it's a lot to keep track of. If it's just sort of random emails with people expressing their thoughts, I don't know how we track that and how we aggregate it so that it becomes something to discuss at the next meeting. You know, I guess my question is the meeting, the meetings that we have, the 2 hours a month, is that when we are really doing the business of the committee? Or will there be a lot of back and forth during the month to discuss the work of the committee? Or a little bit of both?
I don't know, because I haven't been on too many committees like this.
If I can just chime in for a second, I want to, this is strictly an advisory committee to the board. However, these are public meetings, they're advertised. I'm going to check with our solicitor tomorrow to see how much work you can actually do deliberatively outside of this meeting. Our supervisors have to be extremely careful. They cannot deliberate or discuss any issues leading to a decision outside of a meeting. So if we can just hold for a day or two until I get some direction from our solicitor about.
Is that sunshine? Is that the sunshine thing?
That's correct. You've got it right there.
Yeah, I was on zoning board, and we had to be, well, that was way before email was invented, so it really wasn't a problem, but but yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so if we could hold that question for a day or two until I can get some guidance from our solicitor.
And that's a good point. The reason I had said an email to everyone was that you can't leave anybody in committee out. But you're right, because from the Sunshine Act, you can't leave the public out. And we'll await your decision on that.
Now, Casey, does that also include like me drafting the initiatives and sending it in an email to this committee prior to the next meeting?
No, you can share information. It just there cannot be any deliberations or back and forth on it as the group. That's typically rule of thumb.
And I kind of like that, and I agree with Dorothy. You know, between work and other committees I'm on, I get a lot of emails.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
And it's very difficult to keep up.
It sounds like we don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah. I do have a question. What are the expectations of meeting minute turnaround times? And Casey, do you have a favored format for committee meeting minutes?
Sure. I can send you just our just the template we've been using for, I think, going on 40 years here. I'll send you that tomorrow. And you can also access them on the township website, but I can send you a Word version. So
That'd be great. That'd be great. And what is the typical turnaround time?
Well, this is not the Board of Supervisors. So typically the next meeting is generally when you have them available, as long as you have a quorum to meet and approve those minutes.
Okay.
What we do at this.
I like to get them out sooner, only because if there's action items, you want to capture the action items and get people working on them before the next meeting.
That's true. That's very true.
Dorothy, what we did with the sewer authority is Sean will draft the meeting minutes, and usually within a couple days of the meeting, and he will send it out in an email to all of us. And then we will review them to make sure that he didn't leave anything out, or something added. We all review them, and usually within 48 hours, we all get back to them. And then that's it. We don't discuss it until the actual next meeting.
Okay, yep, that makes sense. I was thinking probably, a 5-day turnaround at most.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
About when he does.
The planning commission, within a week's time, the minutes were done. They had everybody, the board chair and vice chair, take a look at it, make sure nothing was left out, like you said, and then set them out to the township members. Yeah, within a week.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Casey, I know for legal reasons, I got on the West Goshen Township email site. I don't know if we need to discuss it with the solicitor, if the other sustainability committee members need to be advised to also have an email through West Goshen. I know it's an extra email they would have to check, but I'm just thinking from a legality standpoint, I know they made it very clear that we should be doing that on the sewer authority. Does that same thing apply here?
I don't believe so. I think I had that discussion, but I'll have it again with our solicitor. The reason we have the authority and the supervisor set up, because you spend money, lots of money. So We don't have them for the planning commission. We don't have them for zoning hearing board. They use their personal email addresses. So
Okay.
I don't know of any other townships that have township addresses for any of their committees at all.
Okay, thanks, Casey.
But I will check. I'll double check with the solicitor.
Yay.
Dorothy, I'm just trying to protect you. I want you in jail.
Oh.
I know, it is a pain to check another email. Trust me. And
Yeah,
every
I've
day,
got 3 going right now, so 3 different
Yeah.
accounts.
that's what I have.
4, actually, 4. Yeah, 4. Ugh.
Are there
I'm with
any-
you. I hear you.
Is there any other business to discuss today then?
I think we can open it up to the public.
All right. Margie, you're the public. Margie, do you have any comments? You're on mute if you're. Well, hearing none. Do we have a motion for adjourning?
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Do we have a second?
Do we need to summarize what everybody's agenda items are? Are we pretty clear on that?
I think I'm clear, and if I have any questions while I'm doing the minutes, may I email just to clarify a point?
Absolutely. Feel free to call me too.
Okay.
If you need my cell phone, if that's easier, because I know as you're working on them, it's easier to get an answer than have to go back.
Yeah, and did Casey or Ashley, did we get a list of committee members and contact information?
Yeah, I'll send that out tomorrow for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I also, Dorothy, this meeting is recorded. So if you need any verbatim,
Oh, cool. Okay.
we have that available.
Okay. Thank you. And I would contact you for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Monday through Friday, absolutely. Yep.
Thank you.
I have a question for next month's meeting. Is that planned to be an hour or 2 hours?
It's 2 hours unless it's shorter. That's my understanding.
Okay, because I do have a meeting at 8 p.m. next month.
Is that the 26th?
4th.
What's that?
Let's see. That would be the 27th. Tuesday the 27th.
I'm a day early, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have a meeting at 8 p.m. every other Tuesday, so.
Okay.
Will we always have the same go-to-meeting link for this meeting?
No, they're uniquely created. So
Okay.
I typically create meeting links the Thursday or Friday the week before the following week meetings. So they'll be emailed to you, and they're pasted all over the township website in case you lose the email.
Okay.
Okay.
Or you can go under the calendar on the West Goshen Township website for that day, and it's also on there.
Yep.
Well, Dorothy, are you going to have trouble being in the meeting if it's on Tuesdays at 7 to 8? Or
Me?
7 to
No.
9? Okay. Okay, fine.
Nope.
Is there a need to have it sooner than 7 o'clock? Is that doable with everybody, or is 7 good for everybody?
I'm flexible.
Doesn't matter to me.
I mean, if it's going to be longer, if we could start earlier.
That's my point. I was thinking.
Yeah.
Ashley, you're okay with that?
Yeah, we
6:30?
can start earlier. Yep.
You want to start at 6:30?
I would prefer that, only because
Very
I've had experience where my meetings with the sewer authority went into 11 o'clock at night, 11:30. So
That's true.
just never know what's going to be involved.
Yeah. And just as an aside, I only advertised this meeting because I wanted to get all of your feedback for time. So if you wanted to move it up to 6:30 or 6, just let me know, and we can do that.
I like 6.
I'm okay with that.
Um,
How's everybody else?
6 is fine. Yep.
Yeah, I could do it.
Okay.
We need to check with Melanie and who else is not here?
Susan left, I believe.
Yeah, Susan, Melanie, and one more person. We need to call around, and I will do that and check to see whether the members who are not here are agreeable to that. But what are the choices that we would request, either 6 or 6:30?
I think
6.
that's good. Yes, I prefer 6 if they could do it. It sounds like everybody else here can.
I'm flexible.
Okay.
Natalie, what's your take on this?
Yeah, 6 o'clock works for me.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll send to the 3 others who are not here and ask them whether 6 or 6:30 whether 6 is good for them, and if not, whether 6:30 is good for them.
Who's ordering the pizza?
Electronic.
So I have a question. You mentioned that 3 others are not here. So I'm per the list that we got, it's only Susan and Melanie, right? Melanie Vile.
Well,
That's what
let's see.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
There's 7 in total.
Someone else? Is there another person that's not on this list that's missing?
Yeah, that's everybody.
Well, there's
Okay,
7,
it's just
there's
2.
7, right? Let me check this, because it seems to me that there's one other person.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
'cause
think
5 of us are here.
No,
Who's
there's
on the
7.
left,
Yep.
really?
Yeah, there's 5 of you here tonight, so.
7 on the list.
Okay.
So it's
Myself,
just Susan Sharks and Melanie Vile, if that's how her name is said.
yes. Let me just check something here.
Melanie is the prospective chairperson, correct?
And Dorothy, I see you, and Tina, and Natalie, Susan not here, and Cynthia, is it Shake?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you are. I don't see you on here. Are you on the phone?
Yeah,
I see-
I'm calling in by the phone.
Okay, that's why I don't see you on the screen, either as a photograph or as a block. Okay, thank you. Well, I will check with those 2, and then I will get back to everyone concerning that.
Sounds good.
Any other business?
Nope, I'm not going to bring up anything else.
All right,
Uh,
Dorothy, or you? How about you? You gonna bring up something else?
No, I'm not.
All right. Motion to adjourn. I motion that we adjourn at the second.
I will
Oh,
say,
I'm sorry. Yes, we've had the public input. Motion to adjourn. Got a second. All those in favor?
I.
Hi.
I think we got it. It carries. Well, thank you very much, and see you next month.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great first meeting. Thank you very much.
okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
How do
Bye.
you get out of here now?
Hey, Ashley,